So this question is on communication. So what is the current state of communication, and why is there so much fear around speaking your mind? Big question.
Yeah, that is a big question.
Timely question, too.
Communication how? Using our platform to share our thoughts and feelings? Or
I think there's a lot of
in the office?
I think there's a lot of unconventional communication happening today that we've never seen in the past. I mean, think about podcasts, think about social media. I mean, as we were kind of talking, like, what did this thing look like pre-social media? You know, if you were an NFL player, ESPN and the ticker at the bottom was like, you know, the end all be all. But now you have situations where, you know, players are, you know, providing information, and there's, you know, endless amounts of pages on Instagram and Twitter and this that's providing all this different kind of back and forth. So I really think we've seen an unconventional shift in communication just because there's so much more opportunity for people to report and just interact.
Yeah, I think everybody can use their voice nowadays, which I think is great as well, but I don't think everybody is a great communicator either. I mean, I think we take it for granted.
This is a problem I have is everybody has the right to their opinion, but I don't believe that everybody's opinion has the same value. So, I mean, we get into this, and I mean, I can say in like you know, as it pertains to football, I listen to people constantly that have no fucking idea what they're talking about, and they're open to their opinion. But when it comes down to me having a conversation with them, I'm like, I don't value your opinion because I don't think you know what the fuck you're talking about. And it's like, well, you have to, you know, value my opinion. I'm like, I don't. You can have it, but I don't have to listen to it, and I don't have to give it weight just because it's yours. Especially when it also when it comes to strength conditioning or performance training or the stuff we do, like, I'm sure people have their opinions, and you're more than you know, entitled to your opinion. But it just because you have it doesn't mean that I have to necessarily give it any weight if I don't think it's fucking valuable.
Right. I think that comes down to respect. Like, you don't have to agree with their opinion, but can you respectfully disagree? I think that's a lot of the problem right now too. Is people can't be respectful about other people's opinions, and that's what I think leads us into trouble and a lot of this fear that's associated with speaking your mind. Is
the fear of speaking your mind really just kind of a fear of maybe call out culture or cancel culture?
Yeah, I think potentially. I think there's a lot of like, especially like in a professional setting as well, like I'm in. You know, you say something and you feel like that if somebody takes it the wrong way, it could potentially be the end of your business. It could be the end of your professional career. You can get fired.
So give me an example.
So, I mean, this is why, you know, they always say don't talk about politics and religion, right? Mm-hmm. Because everybody has a very specific viewpoint of that.
Ever, or just at like Thanksgiving?
Well, I mean, I was kind of thinking like in your role, like something that could be said in your arena might not be construed as something like let's say an athlete comes in, or you're working with somebody and you're like, man, your glutes look great. Right. And like, your person could be like, oh, well, like, you know, here's something where they're, you know, been working on putting a big toe in the ground, and, you know, they've been suffering from glutenesia. Remember, we always talked about that. Like the glutes were somehow asleep.
Because that's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a total real thing. But now all of a sudden you're like, man, it looks like you're, you know, like when you're walking, like your glutes are moving, and like you look a lot more put together than you did. Right? Like that would be a compliment that if you made. Now, if Tex is out there and he's like, you really look like you're using your glutes, they look really put together, it might be, and he's at the bar, it might be considered, who knows, a little bit different.
So I think that's applicable to both of us.
Well, but I mean, that's situation and context.
Yes.
Situation and context. So I wonder, in your situation, in your job, or even in a commercial gym, or, you know, let's say you're working with kids or whatnot, things that we would think might be funny, or a joke that maybe we would tell, or maybe something that might have been funny 20 years ago, today might be construed, and next thing you know, you lose a job.
Well, two things there. I think people are a lot more sensitive today than they were 20 years ago.
Why is that?
Oh boy,
are people searching to be outraged? Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like people are going out of their way to be outraged.
I think it's a chemical imbalance. I think you can get a high from it as well. Like, you kind of live in that mindset.
Oh,
right?
That's the science of the social media, right? People are liking or retweeting.
Dopamine.
It's a big dopamine hit. Yeah. I think that's one side of it too. But then the other side of, what was that question again? Sorry, John, say that one more time. I completely forgot my other train of thought there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I ruined.
Blanked. I blanked.
Ruined the flow state.
Did really ruin the
The
flow state.
you got it back? I
Go,
just want to
go.
say an interesting thing that I recall hearing. The first radio president, the first television president, and then the first social Twitter president. We had FDR's fireside chats over the radio. Then JFK was the first president to stand and deliver a message on the television.
Yep.
And then we've witnessed President Trump using social media as his contact to the country.
Well, there it is. It's a delivery. That's what I was searching for. I think it comes down to people's sensitivity to what is being delivered as the message, and then how you actually deliver the message and what kind of impact you're trying to have, right? Because I think that sometimes you bring up your example of saying your glutes are looking real good. I could be a creeper about that, and I think I could change the tone of my voice. And
Well, yeah, it's going to require you to have like a jean jacket with no shirt on that you're just picking your belly button. And you're like, hey, your glutes look real good. They look like they're firing real well.
get down, they're nice and deep black.
Yeah. Hey, that guy keeps paying Justin to wash his car. And he's
Dodgeball is great.
Yeah. That's
That's good.
yeah. But like that's like an interesting piece of like the communication factor. Like and we see this all too often. Some person who's got like a different positioning says something, and then another person in a different position says the exact same thing, and all of a sudden one is taken as good humor and joke, and then another one is taken as like swords, and then the other one, which blows my mind constantly, is people I think search social media and the internet looking to be outraged by things. Like if I am scrolling through my social media and I see something I disagree with or something I don't like or whatever, I'll like read through it and I just go past it. Like I don't stop, and it's always amazing to me where people will see things like I'll just give an example. Like I have that Mark Ripto gave me the Texas secede sticker, so it's a Texas flag that says secede, and when we ran into Rip, he gave us a couple, and I put it on my truck and I posted a picture. And like some guy's like outraged by it, and I get into it with this guy. And I'm like, so this picture is upsetting to you? Why? Like the sticker, it's like good humored. Like this Texas seceding, no. Is it kind of a funny piece? 100%. And like I just can't imagine like being so outraged that I would stop and leave a comment and want to engage somebody based off of seeing a bumper sticker.
Yeah, so that brings up, can people actually engage in satire anymore, or is it dead?
Well, I mean that's a hard part. Like irony and satire is completely lost to the point where, like on the old CrossFit football boards, when people would get land-based, I used to put on there all the time. I'm like, now just imagine this being said in person and us getting a good chuckle out of it instead of feeling that everything's a personal attack, because there's no inference, there's no satire, like there's no irony, like you can't, they almost need like an emoji that you should put that like lets you know that this is going to be fucking
Joke.
a joke.
Yeah, you should trademark that one, design it and trademark. Then get Epsom salt on it.
Yeah. I wonder what the hey, this is like, you might take this the wrong way, but just know I'm fucking kidding. Like, what is that emoji? And that would be a pretty good one to have.
I mean,
I think it's the upside down smiley face.
is that what we're gonna claim? Sure.
I'll ask what that
Yeah.
means. I'll ask the Google. I'll check back in 5.
I just send a lot of like purple eggplants.
Oh, that's definitely taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
That'll get you fired.
Yeah. If you send I mean, so now is a situation where if you were to send somebody the wrong emoji, you could get fired?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Jesus.
Yeah. But the Instagram algorithms, they search for that kind of stuff,
Oh,
right? So
dude, I nailed it. So
careful.
Emojipedia
Phrasing.
on Twitter. Let's see. Yellow smiley face turned upside down. Upside down face commonly conveys sarcasm, irony, humor, and silliness.
So an upside down smiley face.
There it is. Nailed it. Tess.
Boom.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll start putting
It
those
is
before.
frequently used in a playful indication of awkwardness, frustration, ambivalence, and bemused resignation. So,
Good old bemused
with every
resignation.
comment that we say on this podcast, assume upside down smiley face.